What's up, you guys? I'm Samuel, and today I'm going to be talking about a book called A Long Walk to Water. This is based on a true story. It is a nonfiction book, and as I said, it's based on a true story, so these things actually happened and actually occurred in this book, which I was surprised by because I had to keep telling myself these events actually occurred, and this is real. This actually happened. The book tells the story of two people. One of them is named Salva, his story takes place in 1985. And the other one is named Naya, which is a female. And her story takes place in 2008, so a little bit more current. And to start off with Salva's, his story is he comes from Sudan, and a war breaks out in his town, and he loses track of his family. He cannot find his family, and the first couple chapters, he's trying to find his family. But unfortunately, it takes him years to find his family, so it's basically him meeting people along the way and also losing people. He's trying to find he's trying to get out of the community. He's trying to get away from this war that just broke out that caused him to separate himself from his family, and he's trying to find a refugee camp, which he does, but unfortunately that doesn't go as planned. Well, because the refugee camp, which is run by the government, it shuts down, so he has to find another place to stay, unfortunately. The story of Naya, and Naya's story, it takes place in 7 months of the year, which she has to walk to get water. And the water that she gets, which is a long way from home, she needs to walk to get water, which is far away from her house. But the water she's getting is not clean. And she's also from the same town that Salva is from. So yeah, the water's not clean, and her family's getting kind of like really sick of the water because it's not clean water, and they need to boil it, which they have not been doing. So it's her story trying to persevere through this hard time of trying to find clean water and going to the faraway place to get water and dig holes to find and to get and preserve water. And as I said, this story actually happened. It's a completely compelling, emotional story. The fact that, and towards the end of the book, I was wondering, like, how would these stories be intertwined and connected very well? And it really did. The author really did connect these two beautiful stories. She connected it in a way that was compelling, and it made sense. And when she connected it, I was like, wow, like, this was worth the read. Because I gotta be honest with you, this book was, I didn't really get attached to any of the characters in this book, like Salva or Naya, unfortunately. I had to keep, as I said, I had to keep reminding myself that this is a true story. This actually happened. And the fact that Linda Sue Park didn't really like sugarcoat anything, didn't really try to make it like this big fantasy or this big epic. She kept it real and authentic to what actually occurred, so it feels more of a journal and more of memories than it does an actual fantasy book. I mean, this is not fantasy, but I hope you know what I mean. She didn't try to make it something that's not, is what I'm trying to explain. She tried to keep it real and authentic, in which she did. She made it extremely real and authentic, almost like a journal. It feels like when you're reading this book, you're reading a journal, going through memories with these characters. So the reason why I didn't really feel emotionally attached to these characters, mainly because the book wasn't told in first person. As I said, the book is not written by Salva or Naya. It's written by Linda Sue Park. So when you don't really get to see what's happening in their heads. You don't really know what's happening with them eternally. It's more like Salva feels this way or Salva feels that way. You don't really understand how he's feeling emotionally. For instance, a spoiler in the book, Salva's uncle died. And I didn't really feel like Salva felt emotional when his uncle died. You know, that was a big shock to me in the book. I didn't think that his uncle died, but he did die. And as I said, when I was reading it, I keep telling myself this is a true story. So the fact that he died is extremely sad. But I didn't feel like through the book he felt saddened by that. It seemed like he just kept on with his journey, you know, with the other people. And as I said, this is written by Linda Sue Park. It's not written by Salva or Naya, so she doesn't really can express how he felt in that moment eternally or in his head, because she wasn't there with him. But yeah, and the fact that, as I said, they connected these two stories together was well. A couple of years later, I believe, around like 2007, I believe, Salva finds a family, an American family. He goes to America. And he's in college and gets an email, I guess from his cousin, stating that his father is alive and is in Sudan. So he goes there and visits him, and he realizes that his, I believe, his mother and sister are alive, but his brothers died in the war. So he basically cannot go back to his hometown, unfortunately. He's in Sudan though with his father, but he cannot go back to the town he's lived in because all the war that's been happening over there. So he goes back to the United States, and he decides to help the people in Sudan by giving them clean water. So he starts an organization giving the people in Sudan clean water, and that's where the two stories, Naya's stories and Salva's stories, connect. Is by Salva giving her clean water in her town, so she doesn't have to walk miles and miles and miles to get clean water. To get water, I mean, because the water's not clean over there. So yeah, that's it. It's a completely compelling story that I really enjoyed. The fact that Salva did all of this, the fact that he went through all this terrible things, terrible circumstances, lost his family, lost his uncle. His uncle died right in front of him, but still decided to help his community and help the people that he loved in Sudan. And the fact that he did that through all that circumstance, through all that turmoil and pain, and he lost so much, but he still had faith and still persevered through it all and made it to the promised land, pretty much. And he helped the people. It's not like he just stayed in the United States. No, he decided to help his community and help his people out in Sudan, which I wonder if I was in his circumstance, would I do the same thing, you know? And I hope there's people out there like Salva, you know, that would help their community and help their home, pretty much, you know? I hope that there's people like that. I hope I'm like that. You know, I'm like Salva, and I hope I'm like Salva as I get older, you know, helping his community, helping his people out. It's completely, yeah, he's a hero.
To drill it well, to teach these people that fighting will never get us anywhere, but working together will take us way farther. We need to look at each other as one people, working together. That's what we need. And each individual always faces its own difficulty. Today in South Sudan, people who are drinking clean water, and the new nation of the world, and all the tribes and the leaders, and I myself, we are walking together trying to build a country that might stand tall and proud someday. I still have difficulties in my life, and people always ask me and said, Salva, how did you overcome all these challenges and these difficulties? And I said, because of three things: having hope, faith, and persevering, you can accomplish anything in your life. My message to you: keep walking. No matter how things are difficult, keep walking. You will find people that will join you in your walk, and you may become a leader. And many of you, when you look back together, you will see how far have you come and how much you accomplished together. I urge you to keep walking. Just take a step, even a small step, when you need it. And when you fall down, please remember me and keep walking. You will get there.